Welcome to the Build Your Beautiful Business podcast with your host, Julie C. Butler. If you're looking to build the business of your dreams, then this is the space you want to be in. Join Julie as she talks about ways that you can successfully scale your profitable dream business, one that will give you ultimate time freedom and the abundant lifestyle you deserve. Julie will take you by the hand, sharing with you her business savvy strategies as she chats it up with her favorite online entrepreneurs. You'll get a weekly dose of boosted confidence as you learn as they reveal their insight, tips, and tools that you need to start building a profitable dream business of your own, one that you'll love and that works for you on autopilot.
Hey there, welcome back to the BBB podcast. I have the beautiful Michelle Rose with us on the show today. Hi, Michelle, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. And so, Michelle, before we dive in, I am going to let you introduce yourself, but I was hoping that while you're introducing yourself, you would share your story as well.
Ooh, thank you. So I am Melissa Rose. I'm a functional medicine practitioner, and my specialty is working with individuals with autoimmune and like mystery illness. I can't tell you how many people come and they're like, I don't know what I got, but I got something.
I know, which is probably like a big majority of us. And some of us are sitting at home and we struggle with something, but we don't talk to anybody or see anybody about it, right?
Yeah. It's a big thing. And especially for gals, ladies, moms, and they just feel like crap. And they're like, go to the doctor, get blood work. You're fine, honey. Go home, take a nap. You'll be okay. And on the inside, they're dying and they have no energy and just life is not what they need it to be. So, yeah, I work with a lot of people who have like things like multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, those kinds of things, fibromyalgia, the things that you're not supposed to ever be able to recover from.
Yeah.
And part of the reason that I've leaned into this work so much is because, of my own story. So I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when I was 33.
Okay.
I had like my first symptoms started when I was 9.
Oh, wow.
So when people would say, how is it to feel like you used to? In other words, meaning feeling like you did when you were a kid. I'm like, when I was a kid, I felt like crap. I didn't know what it felt like to feel good.
Yeah.
So when I was diagnosed, my practitioner gave me no words of encouragement. It was just, this is pretty fast moving for you. Very likely you're going to be bedridden by the age of 45. Very likely you won't be still with us at the age of 50. I'm 47.
Yay. And you look amazing. You look amazing.
Oh, thank you. And so, to be honest with you, I let go of life. I had 3 little boys. We all have hopes and dreams. I had businesses I was building 2 at the time. And as my health declined, I had to sell one and just close the other because I couldn't keep up with everything. Plus my kids. And after a while, the kids were taking care of me, which is totally embarrassing when you're in your 30s.
Yeah.
But I recovered. I met a practitioner that does much what I do and just walked me through the layers and helped my body fully recover. And I can say fully, our clinic has access to one of the most sensitive neurology tests. And I just did one for myself in October.
Yeah.
0 MS markers, 0. So I can,
that's amazing to me. Like there are so many of these autoimmune diseases that you can recover from, right? But a lot of us, I think that we are so society has made us believe that, medicine, pills and medicine is the way to go. And I'm like there's so much more out there that can help us recover from these things and live a life like you are today.
Exactly. Yeah. Very, very well said. Very well said. Like in my diagnosis session with my neurologist, literally his options were, he wrote down 2 drugs. He wanted me to pick which one. They were both chemo drugs. And he was like, go down to the place down the street and rent handicapped, like you need a wheelchair, you need a thing for the shower, you need a thing in the bathroom, you need an elevated toilet seat. And I'm like, I'm 33. I'm not going to do that. I probably should have for my own safety, but I didn't. And I'm like, I'm kind of glad I didn't, because everything in me said, this is not me. I'm not going to be this. So how do I not be this? How do I figure this out? How do I figure out a way that I can be well again? So yeah, that's why I do this, because I believe down to my toes that we all have everything already inside to be well. We just have to figure out what's in the way.
I love that. I love it. And so at what point in your journey were you like, no, I'm not doing this. This is going to change starting today?
Oh, probably at that diagnosis session or appointment, because I mean, I didn't know what to do. I was literally like, you know how when you get news and you hear the words and then your brain freezes and the world keeps going like this and you're not understanding a thing. It's kind of what happened. But the only thing that came was just so strong in my body was that is not the way. I don't know what the way is, but that is not the way. And so I think that was probably my biggest turning point, was just, I'm not going that way because it's not right for me. I'm not taking the meds. I don't believe that I'm going to continue to get ill. There's got to be a way out of this.
Yeah. So tell us, because I'm sure that this next part is going to tell us probably how you got into work of facilitating this for your clients, right? Like usually we go through something that leads us to what we do now. So tell us about that journey. And like this is an awesome conversation, because some of us are going through this transition now, whatever it is that you are going through, right? Like may lead to maybe the business that you're going to have, or the coach you're going to become, or whatever that is for you.
Exactly. Yeah. So for me, when my body got better and my last symptom fell away and I started to trust my body again, I was like, okay, I'm no special chick. If I can figure out how to do this, how can I help other people do this? Literally, it was that simple, because I had quite frankly been led to believe that there was no way I could be well, and I was doing it. So for me, that was like a huge aha. And part of, oh, I apologize for my voice. Part of my journey was like intense brain fog, high anxiety, just major fatigue. So when those things peeled away, I had kind of gathered the mindset of, I'm too dumb to go back to school. I don't have the mental capacity to do it. But I made the choice to go back to school, and I've been in school kind of ever since. But that was my goal, was to learn how to help people be well. And I love it. I love it. But I think part of what makes me different than some other people is that I know to the bottom of my whatever heart that you can be well too. I can be well and you can. And for me, it's just helping you peel apart and like dissect, uncover what's standing in the way of you being well. And sometimes that's, things, toxicity, mold, bacteria, liver not working well, parasites, heavy metals, you name it, all the things. But sometimes it's also things like, and this was a big one for me, not using my voice to say what I need, not allowing other people to push me around, saying, I'm tired, I need to go to bed, and just telling the company goodbye and say, shut the lights out when you leave. And just really going, I need this food for me. I need this rest time for me. I need for me. And it can be dealing with things like childhood trauma and really big things that happened that create a hormone cascade and thus an immune system cascade in the body. So there's lots of layers, but I've watched people these years since I started my practice just have amazing turnarounds. And I can give suggestions and guide and all of that. But when they do the work, that's when the magic happens.
And I know, like, I'm thinking about the listeners and like some of us, like, we do the thing, right? Like we become the mom and then, right? And then stuff starts happening in our bodies and stuff like that. And then, like we want to start a business or have a business. And then we get hit with this fog and this right? And like I have a friend and she struggles. She has EDS and a few other things. And like as much as she would love to have a business, it's very, very difficult for her because she can't focus half the time, right? And so sometimes we want to be entrepreneurs and we want to have successful businesses, but this can get in the way of that. So there is an answer. Michelle said, Melissa.
That's okay, dear.
Is here to tell us that there is a way.
Yeah. And to be honest, I work with a lot of ladies who are in that spot. Like they've either begun or want to begin a business, and then their body is just starting to tank. And they're like, what in the world? They have this really big draw, this thing they want to contribute to the world, right? And it's important. And for some people, it's their own flavor. It's what they can give. And it's like, my body is not supporting me. So it's really fun to help people like that, simply because it's like, you get to see them kind of bloom like a flower. It's like, I can actually do this. And my body's got my back.
Yeah. So I know that part of this is all about, or starts with, or is always a part of, but mindset, right? So do you find that as the most helpful mindset principle for busy entrepreneurs? Like, what do you find is, like, what can you say about that, the whole mindset thing? Because I think that it can be so easy to fall off of that, or sometimes not even get on the train of a positive mindset, right? Like, so let's talk about that. Go, Melissa.
I love this conversation because, I mean, that's real. I deal with that every day myself, running a business and, wanting to expand. But what I'm learning about mindset that coincides as well with being well, like fully well, sustainably, deeply well, is being able to say, okay, this is what I need for me. And especially when you're starting a business and there's so many things. You're a one-man shop, right? You're doing everything.
Yeah. Yes.
It's really learning to allocate your time. Like this is what I do. I time block a lot. I'm like, from here to here, I'm going to work on this. From here to here, I'm going to work on this. And then prioritizing the things that you need. And then feeling almost like, have you ever heard of the jar analogy, putting the rocks in the jar and how many are they going to fit? Like figure out your big things that you need to do in a day, in a week, in a month. Schedule them into your days. And then when those are done, you can fill in the cracks with the little things, right? And always things come up in our days that we have to deal with right away, right? But I've found that if I keep good boundaries for myself, like when I go to work, when I give myself a break, when I'm done with work, just let it go. When it's time to be done, let it go. And that's hard, especially when things are getting tight and you've got so many things you need to do. Oops. Oh, I lost her. So many things you need to do, but how do I say this well? Being really mindful of what you need as a person and as a human and taking care of your body, that is the most important.
Okay, hello.
Perfect.
We are reconnecting. I was booted out by my awesome internet in Costa Rica. Some of the things I have to deal with, you know. But Melissa, you were talking about when we were interrupted and your like super awesome chat. You were saying about putting the rocks, you know how it's when you're putting the rocks in the
jar.
mason jar, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That just, I'm a very practical person, hands-on pictures, that kind of thing. And for me, it just helps me think about, okay, what are the big things that I need to put into my day this week and then through the month? And then putting in the smaller things and being realistic with my time and leaving holes or room for things that come up that you have to deal with. Like this morning, we had an issue with the invoicing, our invoicing system. So I had to fix that. It took me about an hour. And it's like, we have to leave room for time for things like that. But as a whole, really creating boundaries for ourselves and going, okay, what do I need as far as time? What do I need as far as when I need to release the pressure of building this, whatever it is that you're building, business, service, whatever. Because to be able to actually get from where you are at the beginning to fully implemented and growing and scaling, those are going to be different skills. But the basics of choosing what are the big things I need to do today, this week, next, like in the coming month, and how do I allocate my day, creating priorities for yourself and you being the top priority. Yeah. It can help.
It's so important. And I think like, especially as moms, right? Like I've been pretty good, especially over the last 10 years at making sure I get my time. And it's not, my time is really simple, not here because I don't have one, but back home in Canada, it would be my daily bath time. Like that was it for me. Like I just
too.
give me my time so that I can have my bath and chill and just, you know, reset. That was my time. For you, it might be get a manicure. But I think that so many of us, Melissa, and I'm sure you've seen this many times, that we don't take the time for ourselves. And it's crucial that we do, right? What happens if we don't? What can happen if we don't do that? If we don't take the time for ourselves to recharge, to reset, to take care of ourselves. Like I say that all the time. Like, I mean, you need to take care of you first, because if you don't and you break, how can you take care of others?
Exactly. And I think sometimes that may even come from, you know, our upbringing. Like for me, it was others first. It was family, others, and then you. So, you know, for me, when I would say I was like, oh my gosh, this is so selfish. And I would feel so guilty. But flipping that, I had to do that to really regain my wellness. And I think that's just an integral part, exactly like you were saying, Julie. I mean, we have to think about that. What do we need?
And set clear and good boundaries so that you can move forward and live a lifestyle that makes you feel good, but that you are also healthy and able to live it. right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. Somebody asked me the
Yeah.
other day, what would you do if you got sick again? Would you keep your business? Would you keep your practice? I was like, honey, I'd be finding a buyer tomorrow because my health is so important to me. If I cannot be well and do this work, I will choose to be well.
Mhm.
Thankfully, that's probably never going to happen, but that's the importance I put on it.
Would you say also like going back to like taking care of yourself and creating like those really good boundaries and like
Yeah,
if like by not doing that, that can keep you unwell, but also maybe make it worse, right? I'm sure you've seen
completely.
this.
Yeah, I see it all the time.
Oh, I was saying
Oh,
that when we know better, we can do better, right?
completely. But
Hmm.
sometimes we know better, but we don't know how to do better. Like we don't know,
Oh,
we haven't given ourselves the permission to make the choice.
yeah. And the choice is available to us. Like maybe you resonate with Melissa, maybe you vibe with Melissa, feel her energy and her chemistry, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about your morning routine, Melissa, before the internet decides to
Dies
give out
again.
on me here in Costa Rica, and then I will have to retreat to the pool. Yeah, tell us about your morning routine.
So that is really important to me. Sorry, my voice is cutting out again.
Absolutely. That's why we're here, to have tea or coffee or whatever's in your mug.
So it was probably 3 years ago, I suppose, that I discovered meditation. And I thought, oh, yeah, ho hum, that's cute. I'll try it, whatever. But it has become a centerpiece for how I take care of me. So meditation every morning. Then I sit down and have a cup of coffee with my husband and we chat. And I don't go into my day 90 miles an hour. I like to ease into it when I'm ready because it just feels good. My brain's in a better place. My heart's in a better place. My head is in a better place. And like early on, when I was, you know, starting this work and everything, there were so many things to do. I would literally hit the ground running. And by the time I fell into bed, I was exhausted. That is not sustainable for me or probably anyone else.
Mhm.
So the morning routine of meditation for me, giving myself between a half hour to a full hour to do that has changed my world.
So what would you say to people who are like you were before and like, oh, meditation, whatever, like to someone who like is thinking that and like maybe is not motivated to do it or want to do it, like what do you say to us? Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, I do. Because I used to think, I don't have time to do that. When the truth of it is, excuse me, I don't have time not to do it.
Hmm. Life is precious and we want to live it fully in our
Yeah.
bodies
Yeah.
until our last breath, right? But who wants to live a decade or two feeling like crap anyway, right? Like in the last decades of our lives, right? Like we want to
Yeah.
enjoy this like life that we were given.
Oh, so much. And I think what I didn't realize was when my head and my heart and my body are at peace, I can click through those complicated tasks like this. Everything's working.
Hmm.
And when I fly into that without, taking time to really align everything inside of me, I get bogged down, sidetracked like a job that in the morning, right after I meditate, would take me 10 minutes. At the end of my day, might take me an hour and a half. And I'm not kidding. So it's like, how do I want to do this? It dawned on me, you don't have time not to meditate because this is how you align, connect, and really become just at peace so you can work from a very whole place.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is good, but it's also like health is everything, right?
Yeah.
Like we are everything, and taking care of ourselves is so important. And so Melissa, tell us, I mean, you're so wonderful. I want to know how we can work with you. So what do you do? How do you work with like clients? And if someone is vibing with you, Melissa, and they're like, oh my God, like what does this chick do? Like, how can I work with her? Because I'm feeling it, and I feel like I've been looking for that someone that may be able to help me.
Yeah. So the best way to begin working with us, so when I say us, it's my team and I, go to autoimmunerecovery.org. That's our new
Mhm.
website. We just went live with it about a week ago. And
Awesome.
if you want to book in for an introductory call, please do so. You'll be chatting with Marianne. She's our client intake specialist. She is a precious, precious person. But what we do is work with you one-on-one to really unravel what is going on for you. And to me, quite frankly, a diagnosis or 10 diagnoses, it doesn't really matter, because the symptoms that were categorized and then became that diagnosis name that was given to you, it's just your body going, hey, help. And we need to listen to those things. When we can understand what's driving those, then we can change those. So we work one-on-one. You would be working with either myself or Robin. And the shortest packages that we do are a 6-month package. We can go up to a 12-month package and then re-up if you need to. But especially for somebody that has an advanced condition,
Mhm.
we're going to need a year at least, probably more.
Mhm.
But our goal is to help you understand what's going on in your body and address it. Literally, it's that simple,
Yeah.
but address it sustainably. And along the way,
Mhm.
we get to teach you tools, give you tools, because I don't want you to need me forever. I don't want you to need my team forever. I want you to understand what your body needs, help you learn how to give it that. So you've got tools to remain
I
well
love it.
until you're 110 or however old you get to be.
Yeah,
Yeah. We're always
I
a
love
phone
that.
call away, but the idea is
Yes.
for you to be well.
And I'm going to have that website link in the show notes as well. And so, Melissa, I forgot to check with you. Are we still giving them a functional assessment form as
Yes.
yes? Okay. So functional assessment form. I'm going to let you describe what that is, because there might be some listeners who definitely want to take advantage of this.
So this form is, I'm going to apologize now, it's really long. But what we have done with this form is we've used symptoms, like questions around your symptoms, to be able to help you understand your top 3 areas of concern. So, for example, are you at risk for heavy metals? Are you at risk for Lyme components? Are you at risk for leaky gut? Are you at risk for, I mean, there's like, I think we put in 15, 16 different major
Mm-hmm.
components. And just using symptoms, and there's a little answer key at the bottom to tell you how to rate yourself. You'll be able to see your top 3 areas of risk. And then there's a companion guide that goes with that with suggestions. Okay, if this is one of your top areas of concern, these would be your next steps that I would suggest, including testing, lifestyle support, as well as food suggestions. So it's really in depth, but for some people, just going through that has helped them unlock what's going on and really help them move forward.
That's awesome. I love it. So I'm going to have that in the show notes too. So if this is calling your name, make sure to go find the link for that. Well, Melissa, I'm sure we could talk on this topic a lot longer, but what we've shared today and what you've shared with us and what we've talked about was really good. And I think
Thank
that,
you.
if anything, it's kind of like opening the door
Mhm.
to those who are maybe feeling yucky and being like,
Mhm.
oh, maybe Melissa can help me, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe that's somebody else that for you, but whatever that
Yes.
is, it's there's we shouldn't feel yucky. And I think that I mean, I'm not a doctor, so I can't speak to all of the symptoms out there, but sometimes it really is bottom line, getting together with someone like you, Melissa, and figuring out the root, and like you said, giving us the skills and tools in order to heal ourselves within, like inside out, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Very well said.
Yeah. So that we can live truly a beautiful life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Melissa. It's been so
Oh,
great
you're
having you on the show.
welcome.
And I'm so excited to be partnering with you at the Women Thrive Summit.
Oh,
I
I
know
know,
you're going to be
right?
speaking. Yeah, I'm going to be speaking. You're going to be
Oh, I love it.
speaking. It's so amazing to be part of the same event together. So I'm excited about that. So I shall put the link for that in the show notes as well.
Excellent. Yes.
Yes, because if you're listening to this and you're like, Women Thrive Summit, what? If you haven't seen me talking
Right?
about it yet, definitely have a look, because it's going to be amazing. There are going to be some
Exactly.
amazing speakers from all over the world, and some dancing and some everything, right?
I love it. Yep. I'm excited for that.
Yes, our hosts are incredible humans, and you definitely want to be a part of what they are creating. A movement, I think, right, to help
Yes,
women
it is.
entrepreneurs out there in the world
Mm-hmm.
create at that life that they've always dreamed about. So yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you again, Melissa. And
Thank
I'm
you,
glad
Julie.
the internet didn't boot us out again.
Right?
Yeah. And if you are
Oh,
listening to this, or if you are watching, I will talk to you on the next episode.
excellent. Take care.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Build Your Beautiful Business podcast. If you did, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review the show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Julie's included a link in the shows to make it nice and easy for you. And if you want to create a beautiful, profitable business of your own, make sure to go unlock your access to Julie's 6 must-have resources for female entrepreneurs. These resources will help you build and grow your business with simplicity and ease. You can find them at juliecbutler.com/freebie vault. We'll see you in the next episode.